Hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and as you can most doubt tell from what is laid in front of me, this is Just Because Quilt Part 2, the Christmas one. So, I have now finished all of the top. There you go, there's the wadding sticking out of the side. Some overlap that needs trimming, and it's all finished all the way down to the bottom. And as you can see there, I've even got the back on. In fact, not only have I got the back on, let's move that and my coffee, well actually hot chocolate, but I have started to quilt the back. I don't know if you can see the texture there. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. And this one here, I've actually ironed out the pen line. So that's just the stitch work there. So yes, it's marching along. This backing fabric was a duvet that I found in the local charity shop, and it was a giant, I think it was a king size duvet or something, so I've got plenty to do the edge, and I'm going to try to cut like that from the rest of the fabric so that I get this goldy bit running round as my border. We'll see if that works. So for today I am basically just stitching my quilting. So I'm just trying to work out where I've been. See, I've been there, and I've come right up there. So I'm almost at the top there. Look, I've only got one left because I've done that one. That's the one that I ironed out, and I've come across. Now, when I hand quilt like this, I don't want to be teaching my grandmother to suck eggs because I'm probably newer to this than most of you, but I always tend to start in the middle and then work up and across and down, and then I'm gonna do this way, mainly because if you've got any misalignment, then it's easy to have it at the end. You don't obviously want scrunching it in the middle or anything weird like that. And I've just grabbed the stencil in case anyone was interested. I had the idea because the original one I did, you may remember, I did in the Sashiko, and I was thinking when I was finishing the top that I'd already done the Sashiko on the original blue and red one. I was doing circles or bubbles on the brown one for my grandson, and because of the backing on the original Just Because quilt, I would be doing diagonal lines. Obviously I needed something else, and I thought I remembered that I had a few of these, and I did, and I thought that this one, if I did it round in the centre, made like a wreath and as it was Christmas, that made sense. So if anybody's interested, this is the Feather Design stencil for quilting. I haven't got a manufacturer, but I'm pretty much sure that if you got a quilting shop near you, you'll be able to find it, and there's no price for anything on it. I've had it for years, but I can't imagine it was a lot of money. And as I say, I have got a few others, so you know, they're readily available if you want them. Right, so I'm just, as always, trying to get this giant thing on my desk. Now you can see, hopefully, there, and this is where I start putting pins in again to hold it in place. This was the original one, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in that original centre of the wreath. So this is the top of the wreath up here, And I just want to make sure I hold that one in place, you see. That's how I'm doing it, just in case there's anyone that hasn't done it before and they want to have a go. So you just have to keep spreading it out to make sure that we're getting it level. There we go. And then that one there. It just, if there's anyone that hasn't done it before and they'd like to give it a go. So I'm going to work on this one here. I'm sorry for the background noise. I've got the washing machine going and I'm just using normal, you know, machine stitch thread. I found this red and I thought that was perfect colour for what I'm doing. So I'm just pulling off a couple of lengths, threading up the needle, which you all know can be a bit of a headache. When I started this with you, was it a week, 2 weeks ago? I thought, oh my goodness, what are you doing, Claire? There's no way you're going to get this done for Christmas. And yet here we are more than halfway through, probably even 3/4 of the way, and I believe we're only sort of 2 weeks along, maybe less, so that's fabulous. So it will be done for Christmas, and you'll hear in Sunday's video, or you may already have seen on my Instagram, that the new, I had it and I pulled it out, that's annoying. The new chair to match my new sofa has now arrived, and the room feels perfectly aligned with what I was thinking and the space that's available for, you know, my crafting and hiding it and all that. Right. So yeah, it's all good. So then we need to get a quilter's knot. So holding the thread behind the needle, 1, 2, 3 wraps, grab that under your thumb, and I put my finger through the loop so I can't get a knot, and then just gently pulling it through all the way, and you'll get your little quilter's knot there. Can you see? Okay. And then because of the design, I've been tending to start in the middle of the heart here. So I'm grabbing it because obviously I haven't got it in a ring or anything. And then I'm just literally stitching little tiny stitches, making sure I can feel the needle at the back. And then if you pull through gently, because you don't want a big knot, she says, pull through gently. There you go, and there's my little quilter's knot. And then if I just give it a little tug, it's now inside and hidden, and I can trim off that tail. So you don't have to worry about having knots and things, okay? And then it's just a case of little tiny running stitches up and down and up and down and up and down and up, and then just pulling it through. And whilst when you start it may feel like a mammoth task, there you go, just drag that tail back, you know, because you're going to hand stitch all of this pattern all over it. I just go one motif at a time. I've always got coffee by my side. I've usually got something that I want to watch playing in the background, a movie or YouTube videos, and you'll be very surprised at how quickly you suddenly realise that you're at the end of that motif, and you're either going to take a break because I try not to stop halfway through a motif, or you're gonna, you know, carry on and do the next one, and before you know where you are, you've done a lot. I mean, I've done at least half of this hand quilting now, and I only started doing it on Monday, and today is Thursday. So, and I mean, I've not been doing it all day long. I've obviously been doing other things. It's mainly been a couple of hours in the evening. So up and down, and then pulling through. Plus, of course, I've got normal sort of household chores to do and my other videos. So, as I say, it's not been non-stop. And now I'm going into what is the other half of the pattern. So up and down, just flicking up and down for your running stitch. Okay, I do give it a nice little tug. We don't want it too rough, and already you can see you get that little puffy bit. It's lovely. And then coming all the way, whoops, you can grab all of it if you want, rather than just a bit. It's whatever suits, and I do vary it, and I try to sort of use my thumb now if I need to work out where the stitches are going to come up. That's why my nail polish was in such a state, but it's all come off now. And you're realising, if you watch Sunday's video, that I filmed in reverse because I hadn't yet taken the nail polish off. There we go. Oops. Now I've caught that round there, so just pull that back. Get a little knot. Just work it out. It's usually just where the threads have. Now we don't want it to be a real knot, because if it's a real knot we've got a little bit of a problem. Yes, it looks like it is a real knot. So in the same way that I pulled my quilter's knot through, I'm just going to give it a little tug and try and get it inside. There you go, it's gone through. Okay, and then coming up the other part of this heart, and again give it a little tug when we get there. And that's actually now broken off. So what I will do is I'll get a different needle. I'm going to put my needle in where the thread comes out, and then I'm going to feed between the layers all the way across and out there. And then if we trim off the knot and we poke our thread through the eye of that needle, like so, and we pull it all the way through, we can now cut that tail off, and that thread is buried inside our duvet. Okay, so then just need to do we need a fresh? No, we have actually got a knot there. So coming back to that point, up and down again, feeding round my heart. You hear that go in? You heard the knot go through. Whoops. I suppose it does take a little bit of patience, but to me it's actually very calming. I feel quite at one with the world when I'm doing this. I've become quite addicted to it, which is why I've got 3 of them on the go, because I'm doing this one, I'm doing the original Just Because quilt, and I've got the Bubbles one for my grandson, and I just sort of jump in and out between the 2, to be honest, between the 3. There we go. So now, because I'm at the end of the heart, got both the hearts done, I'm coming back like you would an invisible tack to where that thread was coming out, feeding under the fabric, and now I'm going to do this line, I'm going to do this part of it. And I'm sure there are master quilters out there that would say I'm doing it the wrong way, I'm doing too big a stitches, whatever, but hey ho, this is my way. And if you've never done it before, as I hadn't until I did the red and blue one, you need a starting point. Once you've got a starting point, you can find your own way. So again, I'm going back to where that thread comes out, under the fabric, and out to where that line is, and then feeding up and down and joining the 3 layers together. So up and down, up and down. So I thought I'd do this one with you and then I'll leave you to get on with your day. Just so that you've got an idea of where I'm up to and how I got here. And then if you're not 100% sure, there's no reason you can't just do 1 stitch at a time from underneath if that's what you want. But I personally find it hard to line it up, which is why I would rather do a row. Now I'm going all the way under, straight into that line now, okay, and then again I'm just gonna feed up and down. These middle ones I find are the hardest because there's so much bulk fabric. The nearer the end you are, the easier it obviously is to work. You may find something different. And then I'm going down there all the way over to where I started, which was there. Pull that through underneath, and then I'm just gonna finish that tail. Now that washing machine's gonna get really, really loud, and I've just stabbed myself underneath. There we go. So then again, I'm gonna invisible feed over to the next line. I'll take that pin out now, just make sure my finger's not bleeding. When I was doing that white stitchery the other day, I stabbed myself and I started bleeding. There you go. So we've done that one and that middle line. So now we're on this first one that marries up with the hearts. So we're just going to feed up and down. On there, like so. And pull that out. And then come round. That's it, a little bit of a smaller stitch. And obviously, again, I'm working on quite a curvy design. So you see it's come off the line. So I just need to grab hold of the fabric, bring it back, and then out. So it's, you know, it's not hard. Fiddly maybe, but I enjoy it. And then I'm just spinning it round so that I'm now working towards me rather than away from me. Okay. I think I'm going to have to turn you off because that washing machine's going to start doing an awful spin. So back in where we came out, feed across, pull through, trim off our tail, and it disappears. So there you go. That is what I've been doing. That's what I'm going to carry on doing. I hope that you found some joy and inspiration in watching that today. There's the other tail. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.